seeing us, just give us a little hello. If you are watching the replay, give us a hashtag replay. Just waiting for this to officially show up so I know that we are live and people are seeing this. So far, I am not seeing it. So if you are seeing us, please let us know. And then we'll go from there. We'll start talking. And as you can see, the power panel is a little smaller than anticipated. Okay, there we go. Woohoo. Okay, so if you are there, give us a quick little hello. And I'm just going to pop that in there, make sure those are coming through.
Hello, hello.
Okay, there we go. So, happy, what day is it? Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Tuesday, depending on where you are. Hey, Renee. Okay, good. Thank you for verifying that we are officially live here watching, or that you are here watching. So, welcome to navigating change and expansion in your business. So the power panel today is Manu and I. We are the powerful ones right here. I think Mara might be jumping in shortly, but had some schedule stuff come up. So you get us. But we are talking today about the concept of navigating change and expansion in your business. The goal of these discussions, and panel discussions is really to give you all different perspectives, different approaches, and, just that general discussion of business. But knowing that the thing is what Manu, thinks maybe about expansion and change may not meet with what I do, and it may not necessarily be what you do. But the thing is there's so many different perspectives out there in business, and there is no one right way to do things. And this is our first live too, since I made the update to the group. For those that are watching in the Facebook group, if you're watching elsewhere, you may not know what I'm talking about. But in our Facebook group, I changed the name of the group to the Success Zone. And ultimately that is to really help you all to operate, to own fully your unique genius and to operate within that genius zone. And that part of that is figuring out the right way for you to do business. Because while there's lots of ways out there, not all of them are right for you. So having these different perspectives is a great way for you to just kind of to know and understand what can happen in business and the different ways where you can go about navigating these changes in your business, the expansion, the growth that comes as you grow in your business. So Mara is here. So I'm going to allow her to hop in now. So there we go. There she is.
Hello, everybody. Sorry to be a few minutes late, but I'm happy to jump on in the conversation.
No worries. Perfect timing. We started a little later than planned today anyway, and I was just basically introducing what we were talking about, and I told everybody you'd be joining us. So you're all good. So we are talking about navigating change and expansion. Just to catch you up, Mara, where we're at, and we're literally just about to dive into this discussion and to really just talk about it from different perspectives. I think even sharing our own stories, because I know myself, I've gone through multiple changes. This year I've gone through a crap load of changes, but I've gone through multiple expansions in my business. I'm going through another one right now. So I think it's just good for us to all kind of just share our own stories with where we're at and what we've experienced when it comes to change and expansion and what that means to each of us. So I'm going to kind of pass the baton to Mara or Manu. Feel free to jump in here and just kind of let's talk from your perspective, what that's been like for you specifically.
Yeah, go for it, Manu.
Okay. Hello, everyone. So for me, changes, there have been actually several changes, in my business and the work that I've been doing. From last year to this year, it's huge. So starting with, I realized that when it comes to marketing, posting in groups, commenting in groups, seeking people did not work for me.
Mm-hmm.
What really works for me is networking. I love networking. I can be on networking calls 24 hours, I think. and I love to network. So that's like something that I enjoy, and that definitely works for me. So that's one of the most important things that I learned, that for me, other marketing strategies are not the best. Of course, I need to have a social media presence because we can't live without it these days, right?
Mhm.
But at the same time, that's not the only thing that'll work for me. This is going to work for me more. So that's one of the first lessons I had at the beginning of the year. In addition to that, I've been offering majority of the times done for you services, and now I'm also adding on do it yourself stuff where people can simply come, take the products, purchase the products, boom, go do it yourself.
I love that.
Love it. Love it.
I love that. And the thing is you have discovered really what works for you in your business. Um, and has that made it easier for you? I'm curious, Manu, just like starting to actually settle into what is right in terms of your expansion and your growth, like starting to actually recognize, like, those different methods that I was trying in the past didn't work for me, and how has that affected the speed of your expansion as well?
Actually, quite a bit. It's surprising that through network, I was getting clients, so that was amazing. And then the second part, when it comes to do it yourself, I've been focusing more on working on my own systems at the back end for the last 3 months. And it's funny that I've not reached out, I've not done any marketing in the last 3 months, but I recently onboarded a client at a high ticket for literally 4 different projects. And I don't know where she came from. I just don't know. Now I have no idea. I asked her and she said, I don't remember.
Those are the best kind though, right? And I want to actually just like kind of talk about this. And feel free to, as you guys are watching, if you have questions, thoughts on anything, feel free to share. This is very much, an open kind of discussion that we do. And, any questions that you have when it comes to what's going on, or even telling us what's happening in your business and what kind of changes are happening and expansion and what you're working towards, we can definitely, address that. But I think it's really important to touch on what you just said, Manu, because the thing is when you are operating fully in your zone of genius, when you're doing the things that are right for you. So that means getting rid of marketing tactics that aren't working. That means creating offers that feel really aligned with where you are in your business right now and what you want to do and how you want to help your people. It means making all of those changes so that sometimes you actually do less. You do less actual work to do it. And the thing with expansion is a lot of people think, okay, I'm scaling my business, I'm expanding, I'm going from 5K to 10K or 10K to 20K or 20K to 50K months. I need to do this, 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 and this, right? And they need a 30-point plan to do all of the things. But in reality, you're a genius and do the things that are right for you and get rid of the things that aren't, and like admit like that doesn't work for me and be okay with that. The more you're going to get clients just dropping into your inbox, the more you're going to get people hiring you that are exactly like what you said. Like, I literally don't even know how you found me. I don't know. And I've had a couple of those recently too, where someone jumped into my inbox actually this morning, and we haven't finished the conversation, but she literally just said, I'm actually going to read this because it was like, something about like there's something in my future and you're a part of it. Like, what did she say? I have a date with destiny and you're included in the picture.
Oh, love it.
What? And that just kind of came out of nowhere. And I mean, it was someone I had a dialogue with, but we hadn't talked in a while. So you get those types of messages from people when you're not actually trying, because you're doing what's meant for you. So I think, expansion, I just want to like shift the belief on expansion that it requires you to do a lot more, because I really don't think it does. And I would love to hear your perspective, Mara. I see you nodding along there too. And I know that this is probably a lot of what you do with your clients.
It is, yeah, it is. You know, I can talk about all of this for days, but it's definitely making sure you prioritize the part of that plan and the 30-item checklist or whatever. It's actually about prioritizing what you actually need to do and what you're just what you think you need to do, and what is just what someone else told you you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
And when you prioritize what's actually right for you, like with you, Manu, with networking, I'm the same way. It's like being given permission that networking is the cool way to grow your business. And if it's, you're not pounding away on social media for 5 hours a day and DMing everybody, like that doesn't feel natural to us. And that's not, so it's going to be more work. It's going to feel stressful. But when we actually back out, and all I do is networking as well, that is 100% where all of my business comes from, but it's easy for me. I'm not pushing it. I'm not trying it. And people kind of come out of the woodwork when you actually do less. You focus on just what needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
And you do less. You also prioritize you. So that's another whole big subject I can get to. Prioritize you. Prioritize just what you actually have to do. It becomes a whole lot simpler and a whole lot easier. So yeah, a lot of what I end up doing with clients is, they're experiencing growth and they're doing all of the things, but it feels just chaotic and crazy in the background. And somewhere in the back of their head, they're like, there's got to be a simpler way. It's because there is, but you're either doing a combination of what you think you need to do, what others have told you you need to do, what's working. And it's just kind of this big ball of things that you're trying to juggle. And we actually simplify it. We pick through all of the things and go, okay, that's great. That's working. Let's do more of that. Oh, that's frustrating. Okay, yeah, we're not going to do that. We're going to do this instead, which feels a little easier. They're like, oh my God, it's so freeing. Freeing is really the only word I can come up with for it, because it's actually like, oh my God, that's all I have to do. Yeah. Watch the clients come out of the woodwork. When you, like Manu, she was focusing on the back end of her business, but prioritizing the things that needed to be done, not just hiding in the back of her business, but prioritizing what needed to be done. People are watching. Like, people are watching, but you don't have to just be out there like attacking and trying and doing all of this. It can come to you when you are owning what you do. You're owning that priority of what you do. So there can be some feels around but if I'm not doing this, am I going to be judged? Am I going to be told I'm doing it wrong? Am I going to be, you might, but you've got to own you. You've got to own that you're doing it the way you need to do it. It's your business. It's no one else's business. Someone else doesn't like it. That's okay. I have my calendar put together a certain way. Some people don't like how either they only have this availability or I only schedule these things on certain days. My people don't mind it a bit. And it's how I function. So you have to be willing to own you, own what you do, be proud of it, and you end up doing a whole lot less. A whole lot easier.
And I'm just gonna hone in on that too, because I think you said a lot of things that were really relevant, Mara. But some key ones that I want to kind of take out of there when it comes to change and expansion in your business. Like, a lot of times you're thinking, okay, I need to hire, I need to do this, I need to do this. Oh my God, I have so many things. I need to message this person. I need to create this sales page for my new offer. I need to run this challenge. If I'm going to grow my audience, I need to be sending probably 25 new friend requests per day and 20 new messages. And you're thinking all these things. But the thing is And I'll say, since I started prioritizing myself, like, 'cause this is not something that I always did. Like I did a few years ago, and then I got sucked into the busyness, right? Um, but since starting to prioritize my own wellness, my own personal being, and how I wanted to be able to show up, not just in my business, but in my life, it's shifted my business. When I'm stressed out, when I'm focused on all of the things that I have to do, when I'm focused on how much money I'm not making, or why I'm not further along by now because I've done all of these things and I've ran all of these, whatever's. I don't do challenges, but challenges, and I've created all this stuff, and then no one's coming. Thing is, and I'm sorry, Manu, because I know you, but I know we have similar viewpoints. But I know you help people with funnels and actually building like the websites and the sales pages and everything. But the second I let go of those things is when things actually sell. Like for my last couple of programs, my sales page has been a basic checkout page, and I've literally just copied it over and over from the last one, and I changed a few words and tweaks, and it linked to the amount. And it sells like crazy. I sold out the first round of my mastermind without even promoting it for next month, with no sales page, with no outreach other than to just say, oh, hey, you guys want this? And yes, they did. It's that easy. Like it really is that simple. And I have another client who, just an example, she was all hung up on like the sales page for her new offer. And she wasn't selling, I should be further along. This should be easier. Like just talking about this thing that really didn't necessarily matter for what she actually wanted to do. And the second she let go of that, she sold 10 spots in her new program, like literally like overnight. Let go of it, started just like talking to a couple of people, and it just works because she let go of the stress. She let go of the thing that wasn't working for her. And for some people, the sales page, like that is the way that they work. Usually you don't need it until you're a little further along. And I think that's that's a whole nother discussion, but doing the things that actually feel right and feel aligned for you. And now I'm just going to like counter. You guys said, well, networking, that's the only way I get business. For me, I have gotten business. Networking is, I think we all know, it's sometimes a bit of a long game, right? So indirectly, yes, I have gotten business through networking. But I actually really enjoy having conversations with people in the DMs and like engaging with people's content, and helping people on social media. If I was only doing networking all day, every day, and like that's what my calendar was filled with, I would not be as excited as these two ladies would about that. And my business would probably go down. In fact, it was when I was doing a lot of networking, and not that I will do networking calls still, but when I was filling my schedule with them, because that was like the new thing that everybody, needs to network, and networking is great. But for me, I found that I needed to do it in moderation, because when I did it too much, it actually hurt my business. So.
Right. And that just goes to the point of, again, it's prioritizing what you have to do and what's actually aligned with who you are and how you work. And so it's 3 great examples on here that Manu and I are overly excited to have networking calls all day long, and we're talking, and that's honestly how we get our business. That's how we're made, and that's what's easy for us. Lori, then you have conversations in DM, you have a magnetism through social media and your posts and your messaging that Manu and I don't. So that's kind of where the aligning it to how you work and not just what you're told to do. There's umpteen different ways you can market your business, and they all work for some people, but you have to find the right way for you. And it's figuring out and or asking for help to sort through the pieces, and then how you figure out those pieces. But then, like, to go back to the prioritizing of things. So like, I'll give an example for me, and some clients that I work with. So back to kind of like the sales funnel thing, sometimes prioritizing it doesn't mean not doing it. It's having someone like Manu in your back pocket that I'm like, okay, great, I'm going to launch this and I'm going to expand it. And I'm going to ask you to put like, do this part for me.
Yeah.
It also takes the stress off of you. Like anything that takes the stress of it and keeps it very simple and freeing for you is the right way for you.
Yeah. And I think that's an important one too. And, especially as you are expanding your business, like you might now be a solopreneur, and I don't necessarily love that word, but you might be doing it alone, right? Or you might, maybe you have one, maybe even two team members or people that you lean on. And the idea of hiring people out is scary. But as you grow your business and expand, expansion is freaking uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable. Get used to it. Entrepreneurship is uncomfortable if you haven't figured that out yet. But at different levels of your business, sometimes, you recognizing, okay, yes, I am launching this like evergreen offer. It's a course. I'm not going to be talking to all these people. I do actually need a sales page for this program because I'm running ads to it. And my voice is not going to be in the message of every single person who's coming in. But then you could spend the next 6 months building it, because every time you log on to do it, you want to poke pins in your eyes because you hate it. You know that it's necessary, but you hate doing it. And part of that expansion and why it's taking you so long is because you're doing things that you're not meant to do. In reality, when you hire someone like Manu, because you're actually at a point where you need that in your business and you recognize that doing that is not serving you, when you hire that out, I'm not going to say how long it'll take you to finish it because I don't know, but let's say she'll finish it, in a month versus what would take someone else 6 months to do, right? And you save 5 months of time. How much time would you, not just the time actually building it, but the stress and the procrastination and the time spent thinking about how much you don't want to do this thing? How much is that holding you back in your expansion, right? How much money could you make in that 5 months of you poking pins in your eyes, where you could have just saved 5 months of that, been making a bunch of money, and had someone like Manu, or I'm guessing that's Kim because she said that's where I come in, to do that work for you, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes, as uncomfortable as it is, hiring is that part of expansion that you need in order to, to really grow the way that you want to.
And if you break it down by numbers, like you just said, if I'm spending 30 hours over the next month trying to build the sales page and write copy and tweak it and get it right and all of that, how many people can you talk to in that 30 hours? If you're a networker, how many DMs can you send? How many, your marketing and sales efforts, even if you sign 2 people, chances are, depending on your packages or offers or whatever, like you more than pay for the help that you get with the time that you free and the stress that you free. I'll give you all a hint. It is not a priority of my time to be doing anything with my website or funnels. Hire a Manu, because I did. And that's when you free up a ton of time, and I do what I like to do and what I enjoy to do in my business, and I don't have to worry about what keeps me up at night, because I don't have a clue as far as building great websites and funnels and copy and all of that. So I took the leap of faith in myself, that I'm making room for what I need to make room for, and I'm getting the help that I need. It's a sign of growth, and it's the only real way to expand and grow.
Yeah.
And so
go ahead, Manu.
Yeah, go ahead. It's so ironical that we say that entrepreneurship and working online, we get the time freedom, but the truth of the matter is we get trapped in the time wheel of time, and we're literally working like 12 hours, 14 hours, 16 hours just to be visible, to connect with people, to get out the offers, to do marketing, to sales. I mean, it's endless, right? The tech setups, you, and as you said, Mara, you are losing not only time but money as well in
Mhm.
doing things which is not your zone of genius,
Mhm.
in which time you could be making more money. So, the gap is not that two offers, the gap is actually three offers, because you're losing that time as well if you were to do it yourself.
Mhm.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. The time to do it plus the time stressing, the time trying to figure it out.
Right.
Now, I'm going to interject here a little bit because um, there is discomfort and wrong for you. Like there's wrong for you. There's stuff that is just like, that is not how I should be spending my time. And then there's discomfort with, I don't actually know what to say or do here, and I'm uncomfortable. So I want someone to do it for me. Because, and I think Manu, you've probably experienced this as, like an actual service provider where someone comes to you and they say, I need a sales page, and then they don't have copy. They don't know how to actually articulate what the outcome of their offer is, how they help people, anything. And you have to be able to actually know your zone of genius, to know how you help people, to get really clear on some of these things. That's where I come in, is helping you figure that stuff out. But, you have to have a certain level of clarity before you can just outsource. And I know like my company, we used to do done for you social media services, and we would get a lot of people coming in. They would hire, okay, yeah, I want someone to do my social media, because they didn't know how to do it themselves, not because it wasn't in their zone of genius, because they literally couldn't say, this is how I help people. And that was why people weren't coming in. So knowing that difference between, is it something that's outside of my zone of genius, or is it just something that I haven't actually done the work to figure out yet? So
Mhm.
it's all
Yeah. No, the clarity is huge. Because again, the clearer that you get, and I'll be honest, sometimes that takes time. Like you're not going to magically overnight go, yes, I am clear. I'm going to implement it. And it is going to happen overnight. Sometimes that journey takes a little bit when you're an entrepreneur. You got to
like
dig in,
this.
you got to do a little bit, and then you work with someone. You're like, oh, okay, that offer doesn't. Okay, no, I got to tweak it, because then I'm going to get people like this. And so then you tweak it, and then you go after it again. So it can take different iterations, and that's okay. Like it's fine that you evolve. It's fine that you tweak offer. It means you're getting much more clarity. So sometimes that just takes time, but sometimes it also takes guidance. So if you aren't even sure where to start, like I know I have this love, I know I want to do this, like I would highly encourage, invest in yourself, because quite frankly, you're the only reason your business is going to exist. So why not invest in yourself? Invest to have the help to gain the clarity and get clear. And I can guarantee you that's when magic starts happening. That alone, that single investment to start with alone, could be the huge catalyst. A lot of the rest of it is in details, whether you're on Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn, like all of that is actually details that don't really freaking matter unless you actually can get some clarity around what you're doing, who you serve, and all of that. You can put together those pieces after the fact. If you're out there like, but I know, but people aren't coming, maybe it's a matter of you aren't deep enough. You aren't clear enough. It doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. We've all been there. I've been there. I mean, you kind of clear over
I hit 5 figures a month in my business with very little clarity. So you can still make a certain amount of money. You can get to a certain level without it, but you're going to reach a certain level where you can't expand without it.
And it's funny, when you mention these, there is no clarity. I've had a lot of people coming to me saying that they need a website, but in reality, they didn't. If I really think of in terms of, is that going to serve their purpose of making money and, moving to the next step? That website wouldn't. Maybe a funnel would,
Mm-hmm.
maybe a lead magnet funnel would, or maybe something else would. Or sometimes they are making a website without the clarity of what they are offering.
Mhm.
And that investment would go down the drain because they're not going to achieve anything out of it. And
Mhm.
it's unfortunate that people are making those investments all the time. And I've said no to so many people who've come to me for websites and just saying that, hey, I mean, I'd love to build a website for sure. Obviously it's money for me, but it's a cost to you, it's a liability to you, and you're not going to get anything out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely love that point, and I love honesty in your work. It's been very honest with me a lot, but it's sometimes saying no. Like, I know when you're getting started, it's like I gotta say yes to everybody. There's a huge power in the word no, and if you learn the word no and you learn it really, really well,
Mm-hmm.
be discerning, it's also another catalyst for growth, because it means you're getting clear on who you want to serve, how you want to serve them.
Mm-hmm.
What it shows what values you stand for, whether you feel like they're a good fit, whether you feel like you can serve them well in their particular situation. And people are going to remember that. It's not you giving up money. It's you actually making room for the right money. I promise you, when you learn to say no, it's really scary because you're like, I need the money. I'm building my business. It's a client. They want me to build a website. It's going to be a hot mess because they don't have a clue what they're doing. But,
that $5,000 really bad.
Yeah.
I really don't want to say no to
but
that.
it's going to be the worst experience on your end and on their end when you know it's not what they need. Now, they may argue with you. They may want you to do it anyway. You can choose to say no. You can still choose to say yes. But I guarantee you, the more you stick to those boundaries of who you want to work with and who you don't, again, people start coming out of the woodwork.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's because people see you're not afraid to say no. You're not just after the almighty dollar. You're out to actually serve people, and that attracts people.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it does. When you're just showing up in that place of service. And I bet, Manu, since you started doing that and saying no to people, your business has probably increased. Again, going back to like, I don't know how people found me, or like how my business is increasing. A lot of times it's that. It's just you being in integrity with what you actually feel is right. You're not doing it just because you need money. You're doing it because you actually want to help people, and you know that it's not the best thing for them to be investing in. I mean, I have one client that I am thinking of, who for a long time was just like dead set on, I have to have a website. And I knew that she didn't need a website, but she had hired somebody, and she literally, I think it probably was over a year of I need to have this website, of working on this website with literally no clients. No, and obviously this is a newbie, not someone who's further along in their business, but because she was so dead set on having that, even though she didn't need it, if she would just let go of that, because in her mind she needed it. So I think a lot of people probably come to you, Manu, and they're like, I need this, because in their mind they think, okay, website, business, that's the thing. But in your expansion, the thing that matters is you prioritizing you knowing exactly who you serve, exactly what solutions you provide to them, and operating in the space that allows you to do that. Not changing your offers to be like other people's, not doing things just because other people are, not doing things that are unnecessary, just doing what allows you to really hone in on your zone.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Being a website builder and a designer, you'll find it really strange I operated without a website for 2 years or 3 years.
Mhm.
See, perfect example.
Because you didn't need it.
Right.
Because I need it.
No.
Mhm.
I have a website, but I still don't need it. Not for my coaching anyway. My weddings, yes, I need a website, but for coaching, I don't.
Look at that. And you're making 5 figures
Mm-hmm.
without a website.
Well, I have one. I have a website for my coaching. But secret, if you go to it, it's way out of date. But because the thing is, we updated it and then I changed a bunch of things. And until you have, and even when you get to a certain point, I think it still really is more of a funnel when it comes to, at least to the coaching space and a lot of the online business space. If you are not looking independent, or you're not big and like where you have a bunch of people coming to your site looking for stuff, you probably don't need a website. Whether you're making 10,000, 20,000, even 50,000, you may still not be at a point where you need a website.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally.
Yeah. So
I mean, look at Mara. She's getting all her clients through referrals.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, now I have an awesome, amazing website, but that's not how I started. You know, that's not where I send people currently. That's not, I mean, I have one. But you know, even I fell into it early on. You're like, I've got to have a website. Now, thankfully, it didn't hold me up from doing some other things, but I can't say I didn't get sucked into the need.
I need the website.
Right. Like, I need the website, but it was like painful for me to even contemplate, I think, which is what helped me not stay in that world as much as I did, and focus on networking. But yeah, to me, it's not necessary, but the bigger picture is, whether it's website, sales funnel, social media posts, content, like all of the pieces that have to go together. It's prioritizing what you actually need, where you need to spend your time, what help you may or may not need to bring on board now, and keep it freaking simple. We all fall in the trap. I say this, like, I've been there, burnt out. I've made things super complicated, but you don't have to get sucked into that. There is a better way, especially for women, for moms out there, women alone, moms as well. Like, we are everything to everyone. Moms, wives, sisters, caregivers, all of the things. And we're supposed to be able to master all of this and handle this with ease and not want to blow a gasket periodically. So it's almost even more important that we prioritize what we have to prioritize and make room for what we need to, bring in the help for the other things that we don't need to prioritize, and to keep it simple. And we can be there for who we need to be there for. We can accomplish what we want to accomplish. And especially as women, if we're out building a business and we want to have this other vision and this passion and this thing, chances are there is a lifestyle we're trying to create as well. And that may mean time for our kids, time for our family, time for our whatever. Also needs to include time for you, but most people forget that. If you work that one in too, from the beginning, you're better off than trying to work it in later. But it's really, we're kind of trying to create a lifestyle to where we have time for all of this, but we also have big dreams and big visions too. And so why should we be limited and have to juggle 50 other things? We can do it too. You just have to get very, very specific on where you need to spend your time. So it's all the more reason not to get, especially as women, get sucked into the minutia in business, and be willing to embrace the right pieces and help. And if you don't know what that is where we come in.
Yeah, pretty much. Message any one of us and we'll tell you.
It's, if you don't know what this is, you're like, yay, that sounds great. That's exactly what I'm looking for. I have no earthly idea how to do that. Don't worry. That's where we come in. but and we can help in different aspects, but that's where we come in, is to actually help match you with what you're supposed to be doing, when you're supposed to be doing it, how you're supposed to be doing it, and yay, build your vision.
Yeah, exactly. I wasn't actually planning to mention this, but I'm going to mention it because it's very relevant to this conversation today. Is next Monday, I'm starting a new program. It's just a 3-session. I've just been calling it, honestly, like a 3-session masterclass, because that's really what it is, called Cut the Crap. Because it is literally meant to help you sort through all of the crap that you are doing so that you can pull out the pieces that you actually need to be doing, the things that you need to delegate, and the things that you can just completely let go of and change that you don't need to do, so that you don't end up burnt out, like Mara just said. Because the thing is that's what it leads to. When you do all of the things that you don't need to do as part of your expansion and these changes, you're going to be overwhelmed, you're going to be burnt out, and or you're just going to consistently stay in this cycle of judgment and telling yourself everything that you're doing wrong, judging yourself for not being further along, and it's basically a bunch of crap. So cut the crap, get rid of the crap. If you want the info on that masterclass, let me know. But like I said, wasn't planning to mention that, but that's exactly what it is meant for. So
pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And yeah, as Mara said, reach out to any one of us, depending on what crap you're trying to cut. We're going to be able to put you in the right direction.
Pretty much.
Like all your, I mean, look at Mara. She's the operations person. She's resolving all the inefficiencies and bringing you to an optimum level of operations, which I think is what most of us would always struggle with in terms of, delegation, in terms of organization, in terms of planning. I mean, talk about it, and it's there.
It's operations is like I'm not big enough for operations. Well, if you have a business, you have operations in the back end. Maybe super small and simple, but you have operations in the back end. But it's usually the last thing that actually gets addressed if there's an issue. It's like, oh, I'm not getting business, or I'm not doing these things, or like people aren't coming back, or like there's a host of other things and symptoms. People are like, yeah, well, I'm going to do more marketing, and I'm going to throw more dollars at marketing and sales strategies and all of the things, when in reality, they can't even handle the back end of their business in general. So it's like actually getting to the root of what you're experiencing in your business is how you're going to get the clarity and the plan to get out of it, rather than just like throwing solutions at something that you don't fully understand why it's happening. And I say that, and it's okay not to understand why it's happening. Business is complicated. Like running your own business is complicated. We are all not born knowing all of the answers in our business. And probably half of us didn't even plan to have a business.
I didn't.
So, I mean, like, it's not like we planned on this. We didn't, go to school for 10 years and become experts and learn how to. So it's okay not to have the answer. Like, it doesn't mean you're dumb or you don't know what you're doing. What it means is you're freaking awesome at what you do. And there's other people that are freaking awesome about helping you run your business.
Yeah.
So rely on expertise of others. You want people to rely on you for your expertise. Be willing to rely on other people for their expertise.
Yeah.
And we've got it all covered over here. Look at
We do. We do.
I mean,
Power panel.
Yes.
So yes, I hope you have enjoyed it. I've seen you on here. You've been kind of quiet. So if you have questions that come up after the fact, reach out to any of us, drop them in the comments. I know we're on multiple platforms right now. So tag us so that we can respond to you wherever that might be.
Yes.
Otherwise, just send us a message. But you've got this. Expansion is easy as long as you allow it to be. As long as you allow it to be easy, it will be. And we're here to help. Thank you, ladies.
Awesome. Thank you.
Appreciate it. For tuning in. Again, if you're watching the replay, let us know. And if you were here live, thank you. And I'll have a lovely rest of your week.
Awesome. Thanks.
And
Bye.
put some crap,
Yeah.
Plenty of us you want the details.
Okay. Bye.